Look at this stuff. You see this? Look at all the snow. Tore the muffler off, crashing through the snowbank to get back in the driveway. How much snow does that look like to you? Looks like 9 or 10 inches. I'm going to measure it. Let's take a look. Oh, looks like we got about 9 inches. Wow. Pretty good for East Tennessee. Well, let me show you what I've been working on. Pardon the mess. I've been working on a little wood shop. Well, so far, I mounted my little tiny bandsaw right into the workbench, which will be really useful for cutting out small parts. I got my old vise there that I had refinished, set up. This will be my little workstation for carving. I still need some shelves and some peg hooks and tool holders. But all in all, I'm getting pretty excited. Today I'm working on a table saw station to fit right in there. I've been eyeballing that Harbor Freight 42-inch, like a tool chest workstation they've got. It was $250 and it went on sale, and I went and looked at that. I looked at what they had at Lowe's and Home Depot, and I thought, you know, maybe I could start with that for a little workstation for carving a fiddle, but I'd never be able to do a guitar on it. I was going to have to modify the top. I wouldn't have a vise. So I decided to see what could I do for a couple of $100. And what you saw in here so far is well under that. I got these sink bases with the drawers for $40 a piece on clearance. They were leftovers. 3/4-inch 9-ply birch plywood. I think that was $45 for a sheet. 2x4s and fasteners. Wait till you see what I get done for less than the cost of a little on sale 42-inch workstation. Whoa! Up on top of the hill with the new sled. Oh boy! Wow! I'm gonna pack it down for the first run. Woo! I'm going pretty good. I'm gonna hit the sailboat. Steer. Where you going? Look at it go! Oh yes! Wipe out! Oh! I'm on a jump here. Oh yeah!
Making it bigger. Mom, get out of the way.
Where is it? Right there. Where is it? Oh right man! Whoa.
I'm not sure.
Come on.
Steer.
You're not out for the grandkids! We're going pretty fast! Yeah! We crashed! Oh. Jumps a little bigger. And here comes our first victim. Whoa! Awesome. Ooh, these are getting to be pretty good. Whoa! Woo! I'm making progress on the wood shop. As you can see, I've got a spot now for my table saw. It's kind of cantilevered out on a movable table. So I can pull this little peninsula straight out to give me the cutting length I might need. I'm building some storage cubbies over here on my new workbench. And this is just 7/16 OSB and a scrap 2x4 I've ripped down into smaller pieces. I had to shorten up these screws a little bit. Somebody gave me a stack of these old hickory doors. And I cut up some scrap plywood to make some hinged lids. And the screws were a little too long and poking out just a hair. I really did these on the cheap. Got to get some pulls here. Here's the 2x4 that was ripped up. OSB. I did a support in the rear. The whole weight on the top. And this is just a scrap of some 1/2-inch ply and these old hinges. Ran it off the table saw a little bit, make it fit. Good enough for the shop. I got some cheap LED lights on clearance at Lowe's for $14.99. And I'm doing a little surgery on the lights. I'm going to string a bunch together for some lighting here for the work area. I picked up 2 packs of these things. They were 3 in a pack. And I wanted to rewire them a little bit so I could run them in series and then power them from the opposite end that was intended. Almost done. I had to pull this little switch off the line. It was mounted down by the plug. Well, I got my lights all done. Check them out. Pretty cool. I was actually looking to buy one of these bad boys because I wanted to build a fiddle and I needed a workstation. So I wanted to see what I could do with the same money. And in a 10 by 10 area, I managed to do all this. This is just birch plywood, a couple coats of polyurethane on it, some scrap pine, 4x8 sheet of the pegboard was $16. I cantilevered out the table saw and I built that bench out of 2x4s and the rest of that birch plywood. And this stand here, this is just, look at, that's a scrap piece of T111 from some project. Did you notice that board laying there on the bench? That is a piece of very old cherry a good friend of mine just gave me. And check this out. This is a beam from a building built in New Hampshire back in the 1800s out of old growth spruce. Never gonna guess what I'm gonna try to do with these 2 pieces of wood. My plan is to start a series on building a fiddle, hopefully out of that piece of nice cherry and the old piece of spruce there. Guys are always asking me, what do I need to start building a fiddle? And boy, when you look at that all at once, it looks like a lot. It doesn't really take all that much. And I hope some of you will join in with me and at least start on your first fiddle. Most of these came from the dump. This little work shelf is just some scrap pine nailed together. Look at that, a soup can. Forms, homemade out of 3/4-inch plywood. Leftover cabinets and a $10 stool. Pulled this out of the dump and rebuilt the motor. 1950s planer off of Craigslist. You don't have to spend a ton of money to build an instrument, and I hope some of what you saw in this video here is helpful or maybe at least inspirational. Speaking of not spending a lot of money, this fiddle here, it was once a floor joist at Home Depot. Merry Christmas. Hope to see you next year.